Welcome to Safe Space, a place where we have deep and vulnerable conversations on stories that really, truly matter. Now, many times we're quick to say, be a man, provide, stand up, be there, right? But we fail to actually look into what that really means onto the male gender, if I must say. What do we mean by be strong, show strength, right? Today we're going to be speaking on a topic that is quite controversial, if I must say. Young fathers providing, rather looking into them juggling school books, juggling bills, and also baby bottles, for to be frank. Yeah. So our guest today is 𝐒𝐚𝐿. So 𝐒𝐿, tell us more about yourself. Who is 𝐒𝐿?
𝐒𝐿 is a father of one. Yes, and a student of MedLab. Is a person with multiple personalities that go according to demand. So I can't really primarily tell you who I am, but I'm who I need to be when it's time.
You had the man who he needs to be when it's time. A man of many hats. Okay, so run us through to the first moment you had you're going to be a dad. How was that?
That carried a whole lot of weight because it was like a moment of collision. A collision between who I thought I was and who I'm supposed to be. So it was a moment where I had to recalibrate and go back to the drawing board, because now I wasn't only just living for myself. Yeah, there was a purpose coming into earth. So yeah.
And how old were you at that time? Where were you?
Well, I was actually 22, 23, and I was still in my second year of MedLab, 𝐄𝐩𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐿, and Jesus Christ, it was a lot during that time. Yeah.
Hearing this big news, yay, Mr. Man, this is it, right? So, how would you say? How did you receive the news? What was your main fear?
My main fear was being the placeholder father. That was my main fear of not actually meeting the demands of being a father. Yeah, I felt like I needed to be at a certain position financially and emotionally to be called an actual father. Yeah, mainly from the stereotype that we fall in, males, but I got to grow comfortable with where I am and who I'm supposed to be. Yeah, those are two different points.
Now you've understood yourself, you had to take this in.
Yeah, definitely.
You had a moment with yourself.
Yes, I feel like that's what's important, because as males, we think more rationally than emotionally. And then when it's actually time for us to be emotional, we're really rational about it. But emotions sometimes may be irrational. So they may not have a beginning and end, but they're supposed to be felt at some point. So
I know as women, hey, emotions is our thing.
Yeah,
hey,
emotions
it's our
is your
thing.
thing, yeah.
And we're quick to run to our friends. So how was it when you told your friends, hey, Majita?
Well, that's a good question. When it comes to my friends, well, there were a couple of people who gave me an honest reaction of loving and care, having to be there with the moment of change. But the other people who were telling me honestly how the predicaments that I can change, like I'm not at the right place financially, I'm not in the right position to raise a child, and those are facts I couldn't change. But besides that, it was quite okay. And pairing my friends with family, they kind of reacted the same way. It took them, like all families really, it took them a time to adjust. But afterwards, after the whole, hey, and all that, after all that, they got to be loving and they got to help me out wherever they could. But I mean, it's still a learning process for all of us. Yeah.
Given these multiple reactions, was there a point in time where it got overstimulating and you actually had a moment where you questioned yourself, am I really ready for such a responsibility?
Yeah, that's quite a lot of them. And I feel like that question on its own it's always going to come with a milestone. And pressure is always going to be there. But that's how you know you're doing the right thing, right? You're always going to meet resistance. And resistance comes in different forms, right? It could be emotional, where you feel like you're alone and there's so much that needs to be done, but that you're not there yet in terms of emotional regulation. It could be financially, where you feel like how 300 you and then you gotta do something about it. Yeah, so pressure is always going to be there, but I would advise males out there, don't crack to the pressure, man.
All right, so you've shared with us how growth, you can never really say you're ready, right? And it can be uncomfortable. However, it's a learning curve, right? You start somewhere, basically, right? Yeah. You're watching Safe Space. We're going to rush into a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Safe Space. Today we're joined by a young father who's also a full-time university student. Now these are two full-time demanding responsibilities. So Gape, tell us, share with us, with these two huge responsibilities,
definitely,
right?
Yeah.
What does a normal day look like for you?
A normal day is really a mess. Yeah, I'll just see that, but the glory comes from depending on your ability to make everything fit where it's supposed to be. And that means no procrastination. That means having to do what you have to do when it's time. Because juggling time with a baby and with studying, it's kind of difficult, because you may be overstimulated from, having to be doing what you have to do with the baby, and then after doing all that, you still have to study. So it's a blessing and a curse. Yeah.
So it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Really.
How then do you break down your time? Or one, there are multiple things that you need: lectures, presentations, assignments, and even parenting.
Like I said, there's no time to waste. And honestly, my one thing that I truly mastered was having to recognize the fact that you have two personalities as a parent. You are you first, and you are a parent. One cannot exist without the other, but both fuel each other. So I use that fuel personally to take care of my child, and at the same time I use that fuel to focus at school and do what I have to do to meet deadlines. Yeah.
Now with the fuel that you have, right, it's normal to get overstimulated.
Yeah.
It's normal to reach a point.
Yeah.
Now, has there been a moment whereby you fall short on either side? Because probably you're focusing on being a father, or you're even focusing, hey, it's due dates, right? So how then have you handled that type of pressure?
Well, because pressure crumbles a person sometimes, I set principles for myself. Principles that don't really have a gray area. It's either black or white, right? So it keeps me from doing certain things that I shouldn't be doing, and gets me doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So it really helps me master my day and how I get to articulate myself with everything. So emotionally, I get to look for a channel that I can use to express myself, and at the same time that keeps me in neutral for everything else. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question though.
You did, actually. You did. Which pushes me to asking the next one. Right, this one is one that we all struggle with. So finances, how has it been balancing finances with school as well as being a father, what sacrifices have you been pushed to make?
Yo, when it comes to sacrifices, there's no pleasure anymore. Yeah, pleasure comes in bits and pieces now. I've learned now to look for pleasure that I used to get from, socializing with friends and out there. But now my pleasures is different. It's making sure that she doesn't have a rash, making sure that she gets that baby powder. I get the pleasure of seeing her being okay. And that will really make you sacrifice anything. Anything, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say, how has being a father affected your academic? Because you mentioned it's math, something good science.
Yeah.
Math. I hate math with everything in me.
Yeah.
So how has it been managing your academics whilst also being fully there for her?
I would like to say I got this feel because we were stuck in the stereotype of, males being most of the deadbeat and all that. I fueled myself because I wanted to be there for my child. I fuel myself constantly on what I'm supposed to be, and my passion is really to get there, is to be him for my baby. So she's really the one pushing me through all these hard times. That's all I can think about.
She's your motivation.
She's my motivation.
Hey, that's really strong.
It is.
A little shout out for her.
But shout out to my baby. But at the same time, one thing that I'm learning to do is you don't really have to be strong every time. Yeah, there's a need of balance. Yeah, that's the whole concept of yin and yang. You have to be both strong and weak. Yeah.
So Gape, today you've shared with us how it's been juggling both. I'd say now, I'm sure you now get the strings for it. Okay.
It's a learning process. It's something that I'm always going to learn for the rest of my life. But yeah, I'm getting to get used to it.
We appreciate your vulnerability and thank you so much for sharing this much, like it's an internal type of thing, right? So we have heard it from him. It's not easy, but it's doable. It's manageable. It's something each and every single one of us can do. It's a learning curve, growth process.
Yeah.
We're going to run into a short break. And after the break, we're going to speak on vulnerability, masculinity. What does it really mean when we're navigating this? You're watching Safe Space. Welcome back to Safe Space. Now we've already run through the journey and the balancing act of fatherhood. Now let's jump into something that's deeper to the heart, the emotional side.
Yeah.
Right. So Gape, how would you say fatherhood has shaped or changed your perspective on manhood?
Well, that's kind of a deep question, eh? And I would say I used to think manhood is all about masculinity or intensity. But until I got to realize the point that I told you earlier, sometimes there are times to be strong and there are times to be weak. It's all about balance. It's not only about, having abilities, is when and how to use them, right? So the emotional side of it, I grew when it comes to emotional intelligence. Yeah, when or how to regulate my emotions. And usually as males we find that from the comfort of a woman, but it was a solo journey. Yeah, where I get to self-introspect, look at my past mistakes and willing to make more. Yeah, because I learn a lot from mistakes. Yeah, so that's a journey of it's a, what do you call it? It's a main character journey, really, where you have to learn how to articulate yourself along the way. So I learned how to be okay with myself. Yeah.
Hey, you spoke on the balancing part.
Yeah.
and how you lean onto a woman sometimes when it comes to the emotional side. Let's put it on a scale, right?
Yeah.
How would you say the way people judge young fathers and the way they judge young mothers, it's separate, it's different? What's your view on that?
My view on that is we can't put them on the same weight scale. They are two different parts that are interconnected. One cannot be more important than the other, but both can live on and like succeed individually. But you get better results from both.
That's true.
Yeah, so I would like to add on and say both parts have an important role to play, and having to understand the depth of the role to play is what matters, because you get to then share perception with the other person, because we live off principles, right? If we live off principles, then it doesn't matter how you feel or your emotions. If they're everywhere, then you'll be put back by principles, right? Yeah, that's where growth comes in. That's the uncomfortable part of growth.
Hey, you're speaking mostly on how to, one other jacket you put on.
Yeah.
This is now what I have to do.
I call it standing on 10.
Standing on 10, literally, quite literally, standing on 10. So what emotional struggles do you think, would you say young fathers go through?
Well,
that they usually hide, if I must say.
Well, because of masculinity, we had the emotional side. Yeah. And we're never really made to be comfortable with our emotional side, because there's this image of, feminine energy. You get called, the letters or gay, or you know what I'm saying? But besides that, I think what most males are not comfortable with is honestly just being comfortable with themselves and how they feel, and knowing that their feelings are valid. Yeah, because most of us look for it from the outside, you know what I'm saying, without having to, not needing validation from anybody else.
Given that, have you ever felt lonely through this journey, and what do you think young fathers go through when they feel secluded or dealing with this alone, basically?
Well, the lonely part, yeah, it's there. More so that I'm not in the relationship with the mother of the child. When both parties are in different places, you can't avoid being lonely. And at the same time, you can let that affect your decision making. Yeah, because it's just a phase. Learning that emotions are emotions without having to make them decide what you're supposed to be doing or how you're supposed to be articulating yourself. That's power. Yeah, because the more you pair your emotions with your actions, is the more you're going to do some impulsive things. Yeah.
Okay, so you're sharing with us how certain things that you do, right?
Yeah.
And you are on eggshells, if I must say. There are certain ways you're supposed to go about something. You're like, okay, no, let me stay back with the emotional side, right? Let me just touch on, let me be there, right? In this way, in this aspect, let me show up this way. So what is one thing that your child has taught you about yourself?
To stand on 10.
To stand on 10.
Yeah. She reinforced my stand. Yeah. Because, like I said, I thought manhood was all about masculinity, but it's all about weakness too. So you have to balance the two.
𝐒𝐚𝐿, having shared your journey with us, what advice then or message do you have for a young father at home who's watching us, who just found out he's about to be a father?
I'd say be there. That's what matters. Be there. And there are going to be challenges along the way, a lot of them. And all you gotta do is be there. Yeah, that carries a whole lot of weight on its own. And that's what most of us do, males. In the absence, in the absence of the emotional support and the financial support, we end up leaving, thinking leaving is the best option, or maybe chased away because we're viewed as less of a man. But even if you're chased away, be there. Find a way to be there.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I'm sure it has touched someone at home watching this. It's given them courage.
Yeah.
I don't know, even if I'm 22, I can do this. Juggling school, juggling everything that life can throw at you. It's possible. You're showing us it's possible. It's a growth curve, okay? All right. Today we've learned how fatherhood doesn't require perfection. It doesn't need graduation, but for you to just come as you are. Show up, and that's all that matters. The rest will follow. It's all a growth and learning curve, I must say. You have been watching Safe Space, and I'm your host, 𝐒𝐚𝐿𝐴.